Hello, I'm Rhonda, and I want to show you what the small business bookkeeping tracker looks like. And so, who is this for? This is for anyone that has um, a small enough amount of records, but enough records where you do need some tracking. You might want a financial statement. You might be looking just for some better record keeping so that tax time there's something concise to give for preparation. And so, this might be the answer. Who this is not for is someone who has a large number of transactions, credit cards, maybe some contractors, some employees, something of that sort. This would not be the option for you. So let's kind of dive in. I moved over to, there's some tabs at the bottom, but you kind of can't see. It's basically a Google Sheet with a lot of formulas in it. So at the bottom, there's some tabs where you input. So you're going to input to the right of this. And you're just going to put in your records as you go for your business. The more frequently you do this, the more accurate it's probably going to be. It's just the way it is. And so we could put in here just an example for you to see. So let's say you had some sales. I'm just going to make it generic sales for now. It was sold, let's say, in October, and it was $5,000. And let's say you sold another item, and we are going to have that be in August. There we go. And that was $540. Okay, you could put notes as well. And if not, that's totally fine as well. Then as you go with any business, you're going to have expenses. So we're going to say that we bought some paper at Staples. There's a drop-down menu that you can use to find what the category would be for that. So we know, oh, look at that spelling. We know that office paper is an office supply. We're going to say that we bought that in the beginning of November. And we are going to say that the amount of that paper was $45. And if we want, we can put a note. So kind of get the gist of it. Another thing we can do here is, let's say that you took a client out for a meal, and let's see, where's a good place that you could have taken them? Let's say you took them for pho. All right, so we're gonna for pho, we are going to take this as a meal expense because it was with a client. We are not going to call our own meal expenses. That is not what they are. And we are going to put the date for this purchase as well. So just a couple examples just so you can see how this tracker works. And the meal, let's say, was $89. Okay. And then, of course, because it's a meal out, we want to have records with Joe S, our customer. All right, so we want to for sure make sure that that's a business meal. Now we're going to move over here. This is where all the reporting comes in. And if we come to the income overview, there's options where you're going to, excuse me, personalize this section, but I didn't do it for the sake of time. But if you come in here, we change this to the current year. Here we go. Then we see those two items of income that we added in. We can also see a graphing chart for the sales for that period as well. If we come here as well, we change this to the current year. We can also see the two expenses we put in, the meal and the office supplies. We have a year-to-date running total, and we can see kind of a graphing chart of our expenses for the year. But the really good part of this would be these last two. This is the part that I get excited about because it's the reporting part. So we can kind of, again, see those items that we entered, and then a running gross profit as well. So this is really good to have a good overview of how your business is doing. If you can see the months that maybe you're making more money, if there's maybe seeing a sales trend over some time, or how your expenses are stacking up month to month or over the course of the year. But then we have at the end here our handy dandy profit and loss. And this is wonderful to give to your lovely tax accountant to prepare. And so it would have the total of your sales for the year. It would have your categorized expenses ready for tax time and your net income. And what's beautiful about this is, this is really made for someone who's a small sole proprietor, small single member LLC, or someone who's maybe potentially starting out in a multi-member LLC, but more than likely, this might be not robust enough for that. But what's great about this is, if you're seeing this and you have a good idea of what your net income is going to be, you can multiply this amount by the 15% self-employment tax, find out what your self-employment tax is going to be. And then any amount of this that's left over after you subtract your standard deduction or your itemized, whichever one you're doing, then you can multiply that by your tax bracket rate. So that'll give you a good idea of where you're at come tax time. So I love this because, one, it gives you a really good bird's eye view of your business, which is important to do at every stage. There's no point where it's like, okay, well, my business is too small, I shouldn't be keeping track of it. You should, because the only way to grow and be profitable is to see, where you're at, having that good snapshot. How is your income trending? How are your expenses trending? That sort of thing. So this gives you that at a very kind of simplistic level. Again, small business, minimal transactions. It's what this is built for. But, if you're needing a different level of service as well, that might move more into our hands-on bookkeeping service that we do for clients. But this is the Bookkeeping Tracker. I hope you found some value in this. If this is something that you're looking for in a small business, and it is available for purchase, you can click the link and you'll have access to it going forward and being able to see how your business is doing. Thanks for listening.